What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? And welcome to yet another Ringside Roundup here on the channel, man. And for today's Ringside Roundup, our topic is going to be the February 6th, 2026 episode of SmackDown, man. So as always, we break down the show. I go over the show, everything you need to know. I give my thoughts, what I think was good, what I think was bad, what could be better about the show. And at the end of the video, I rate the entire show as a whole. But as always, you guys can leave me your thoughts down in the comments below, whether that's leaving your thoughts on the show, debating my thoughts, or leaving your thoughts on anything that you want to talk about the world of professional wrestling. All that can be done down in the comments below, and let's make it a challenge. Don't click off the video without at least leaving one comment. That is the challenge. So at least drop one comment on the video. If you do not click off until you drop at least one comment is the challenge. But as always, like I said, before anywhere to any video, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that helps me to tell me. Now let's get you guys started into today's Ringside Roundup. Alright, man, and we would start off the show with some heavy freaking hatred plus tension, man. So we would start off Drew McIntyre, his music hits. He doesn't even make it out of the entranceway, and before Cody Rhodes does come out and starts brawling with McIntyre. So they would brawl. Eventually, that would lead to McIntyre getting, he would get taken to the back. Cody Rhodes, he would get in the ring. He would get a mic. We would cut to a promo with Cody, and pretty much Cody obviously fired up, man. He is pissed off. He's fired up because obviously at this past Saturday at the Royal Rumble is where Drew McIntyre would eliminate Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes would not get his shot, and he would lose his shot to go main event WrestleMania as far as, winning the Rumble wise. So yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes, he's pissed off, comes out, he talks pretty much saying that, Drew, you didn't hate me because you didn't hate it because you weren't champion, you hated it because I was champion, and I had to return here to my hometown because obviously they're in Charlotte. And he says, I had to return here to my hometown empty-handed, and that is your fault. You didn't, like I said, you didn't hate that you weren't champion. You hated that I was. You are obsessed, but you hate everything about me. You do everything in your power to stop me. But Drew, he pretty much then tells, Drew that, you are done for. This is going to end now. This road to WrestleMania is this is going to be pretty much your downfall. You want to harass me, you want to be obsessed with everything I'm doing, you want to take away my opportunities. Let's see how you like it, Drew. That's basically kind of what Cody Rhodes pretty much was telling McIntyre here in this promo. So main things to take away here is obviously it is going to be a very different road to WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes. He's not able to point at the sign because obviously he didn't win the Rumble. He could win Elimination Chamber, so we'll see how that works out for Cody. But yeah, going to be a very different road to WrestleMania for Cody than it has been for the past few years, man, because obviously the past few years he's main evented WrestleMania, either attempting to get a championship or walking in as champion. But the point is, definitely a very different road to WrestleMania for Cody, so we'll see how that all plays out. Like I said, was he going to win Elimination Chamber? Are we going to have maybe a triple threat? It's somehow going to work into place at WrestleMania with Cody, McIntyre, and another person, probably whoever wins the Elimination Chamber. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but that's kind of what this promo does. It leaves us with a lot of questions. It's like, okay, what's next for Cody? What is his road to WrestleMania going to be? Obviously, there's no stop with him going after McIntyre. He's still going to continue to go after McIntyre because McIntyre still continues to go after him. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think this was a pretty solid opener, man. Leaves a lot of questions, which is good. It makes us think about, really what is next for Cody, man. What is he going to have to do to get his gold back? What is going to be his play for WrestleMania? So I think this is a really good opener, man. But yeah, a really good opener in my opinion. It leaves us with a lot of questions to really ponder. So man, going to be interesting to see what happens with Cody. But yeah, very solid opener here. All right, now we would make our way to our first match of the night, which would be for the women's tag team titles. So obviously the team of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky walking in as our champions here, and tonight they would defend against Julia and Kiana James in what was actually a pretty good match, man. This one actually kind of shocked me, but I think this match was actually really freaking good. From like the middle stages to the end, this match in my opinion was really good. Yes, I will say though, the winner was very predictable. I'm just gonna say it, man. I don't think really any of us really should have thought that freaking Kiana James and Julia were really gonna win this one, because obviously they didn't. I honestly don't see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky really losing these until WrestleMania, losing the titles. If they lose them at Mania, that's really my kind of like what it comes down to for me. So I definitely didn't think that obviously Kiana and Julia were going to win tonight, which they didn't, but I also didn't think it was going to be all that great of a match, but it actually was really good. I really enjoyed this match, and I really enjoyed this match just for the chemistry that these teams had together and just within their own teams as well. I think the teamwork just really played in this match really well. This was a really quality, good freaking tag match, man. So I think it was very freaking awesome, man. But like I said, at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky would get the job done. But would I like to see this match again? I would say, yeah. I think this match was very freaking awesome. I think it was really cool. Definitely shocked me in the sense, because like I said, I really thought this match was just gonna be like, but it really did. It really was good. It had its, it had its good moments, man. So I will say this was a solid match, man. Definitely, kind of shook me. Wasn't, I mean, obviously not anything super crazy. We've definitely obviously had better matches in the WWE, but just one of those matches that I kind of really didn't think was going to be good that actually turned out to be pretty damn good. Like I said, though, I didn't see Julia or Kiana winning, which obviously they didn't, because the team of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Rio, they would win. So that was obvious, like I said, but really good match, man. Really good teamwork between these teams. Really good chemistry. Like I said, I would love to see this match ran back, and in fact, I guarantee they're most likely to run this match back at some point. So that'll be good to see in the future once again. But yeah, final thoughts here. I think this match was good. Like I said, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky do retain, and that's really all you got to know here. All right, now we make our way to what was yet another pretty solid match in my opinion, man. So we would jump into Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. This was not a US Open challenge. This was not title on the line. This was strictly Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. This match really freaking awesome. Both superstars in this match got great offense, great moves in this match, great chemistry in this match between all superstars. There were times where we would see, a move from one superstar, they get that cover, then a kick out, and then another, and then like let's say Carmelo hits a move on The Miz, then The Miz kicks out. There was a lot of kick outs in this match, which was really awesome to show that, both superstars are going to have to go through just a little bit more before they're actually going to go down. So that, I think that was really cool. But really solid stuff, great back and forth. I think this match really solid, really nice pace, like I said as well. But we would make our way to the end, man, and we would have a really good fucking sequential ending. I think this ending was really freaking cool. So we would see Carmelo Hayes, he would land in like a the Miz would like reverse his move and then put him in the skull crushing finale position, and then obviously they would go down, or the Miz would take down Carmelo, but Carmelo actually would not land face first. He would actually be able to cartwheel sort of, or like roll through, and then he would be able to turn around, hit the Miz with the first 48 and then 1, 2, 3, case is closed, and Carmelo Hayes walks out your victor. My God, he walks out with the victor in this match. I cannot speak tonight. Holy hell. So yeah, that's really cool, man. So Carmelo stands tall. So I think this match for the most part really solid. I can't complain too much. Just really solid, wrestling match, man. I mean, that's just what you need. That's what this match was. I really didn't have a problem with it. I think this match was pretty solid, man. So like I said, really good pace in this match, really good chemistry, really good moves all the way around in this match. Everything I think was just really solid. Like I said, Carmelo Hayes going to be walking out your champion, or going to be walking out, obviously still champion, even though like I said, it was a non-title match, but Carmelo Hayes going to be the victor of this match. All right, now we would jump into a women's elimination chamber qualifying triple threat match between Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, and Chelsea Green. And overall, I think this match for the most part was also yet another solid match, but I will say I feel like Lash Legend in this match should have been more of a standout than what she was. I feel like the powerhouse Lash Legend just should have been, the powerhouse aspect of her should have been showcased and used a lot more effectively in this match. I feel like it wasn't as effective as it should have been in this match, I will say. I feel like Lash Legend should have been the standout in this match. Even though she didn't win, I feel like she still should have been the standout no matter what, because I will say, Lash Legend did not win this, but still, I'm not going to hate on it too much. I mean, it still wasn't, bad work from Lash. I'm just saying I feel like, it could have been better, in my opinion, from Lash Legend for sure. But I think that just goes down to really just booking decisions, because obviously we know what Lash can do in the ring. It just comes down to booking decisions at that point is what I feel like there. But overall, still solid, man. Tiffany Stratton would also do some good work with, her springboard moves, all that, always nice to see Tiffany, in the ring. So that's pretty cool. Chelsea Green, obviously always up with her antics. You can already expect that. I mean, she would obviously try to use Alba Fire a few times in this match. In fact, there was a moment where at the end of the match where Alba Fire would actually take the shot for Chelsea Green. But yeah, so yeah, traversing onto that actually. So yeah, Alba Fire would take a shot from Nia Jax to save obviously Chelsea Green. Then Chelsea and Tiffany Stratton would deliver a super kick to obviously, I believe it was Nia, to get her out of the picture. Obviously she's not in this match, but you know, her trying to help her partner Lash Legend. And then at some point also Lash Legend would get taken out by, I believe, Chelsea Green. I think she would go over the barricade, which would take her out for the, you know, the remainder of the match, which wasn't, you know, super long anyways. Then we would find our way back in the ring with only Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. Chelsea would try to hit her her little DDT move, or whatever her move is called. I think it's called the Unprettier. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember half the time. So she tries to hit that. Tiffany Stratton would not allow that, and then Tiffany Stratton would be able to deliver her moonsault, prettiest moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany Stratton does advance. I will say, man, I think this lineup of women in this match, I mean, it was good. It was good, but it sucked at the same time, because it's like, dude, Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend should both be in the Elimination Chamber match, in my opinion, but unfortunately it's not going to happen now, because they were both booked into this one qualifying match. Tiffany won this one, meaning Chelsea Green and obviously Lash Legend, who is, you know, they're both eliminated. They won't be in this year's Elimination Chamber, but I really feel like Lash and Tiffany should have been in the Elimination Chamber. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen this year. Maybe next year, we'll see. But that was one thing that did suck, I will say, is just the lineup of women. I mean, I don't really care to have Chelsea Green in the Elimination Chamber as far as Chelsea goes. I mean, sure, put her in there, fine, whatever. I don't really care, but I feel like Tiffany and Lash being in the same Elimination Chamber would have been really cool. But like I said, unfortunately, that is not going to happen this time, because Tiffany Stratton is going to take that spot from obviously Lash Legend. So she is the first entrant in the Women's Elimination Chamber this year. So that's pretty cool. See what happens with Tiffany. Is she going to win the Elimination Chamber? We'll see, man. But she is the first woman in the that has been qualified for the match. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, final thoughts here, man. Like I said, definitely sucks that Lash is not going to be in the Elimination Chamber. I will say that. Like I said, Lash Legend should have been booked a little bit better in this match either way, even if she doesn't have to win, just more of a standout. I feel like she just wasn't that much of a standout in this match, like as she should have been, in my opinion. But yeah, also, and then obviously, you know, Tiffany Stratton obviously taking the win here. That's really all you got to know to sum it all up. All right, now we would jump into something that I just completely don't care about, but what I do care about is actually what happened afterwards. But you know, we do got to break it down like you know, as we do always. So we jump into Mr. Toxic, Kit Wilson, whatever his name is, comes out, pretty much talks about the Rumble, complains how he wasn't in it, saying everything's toxic, you know, meatheads, you know, something toxic, I don't even know, just whatever his bullshit is, just talking everything, telling everybody that they're toxic, everything's toxic. Then he says that, you know, he wants somebody from the Rumble to come out here and he can show him, you know, what real toxic masculinity is. And then, you know, and then we would actually see, this is where things get good, we would see the Ruler, we would see Oba freaking Femi come out, man. So you already know things are about to get crazy. As soon as his music hit, I was like, oh yeah, Kit, you're freaking dead. You might as well just try to run if you even can. So Oba Femi comes down to the ring. He gets in the ring. The bell rings, and then but Kit Wilson still stays on the mic, looks at Oba, tells him, you are the true definition of toxic. And then Oba, obviously not going to take too kindly to that whatsoever. He's going to instantly put the freaking beating into Kit Wilson. He would put him in the corner, do like 2 running attacks, man. The ring, it just made, like, every time he runs into the post, the turnbuckle, I mean, it just makes a big boom sound. And then, yeah, I mean, you already know those charges from the corner to Kit just absolutely hurt, especially coming from Oba Femi, that absolute freaking giant. Just an absolute beatdown of Kit Wilson, man. Then we would even see a fall from grace by Oba Femi. He hoists him up, drops him down from all the way from that height, and then 1, 2, 3, put him to sleep. Oba Femi is your winner. Just an absolute squash match that I freaking love. Put Kit Wilson in his place. Fuck that motherfucker. Yeah, I don't really care for Kit Wilson. I know a lot of people, you know, are liking it just for the memes and all that, but I think it's really stupid no matter what, you know. I really don't find any fun in it. I think it's weird. I think it's weird for actually a lot of reasons, but I just won't say. You guys probably know. I mean, the word starts with a G. You guys you figure that out, you know. But yeah, I really don't care for Kit Wilson, so I'm glad he got his freaking ass kicked. He absolutely deserved that. Let's go, Oba. Yeah, that's not much else to say here, except that was absolutely amazing from what Oba freaking just did to Kit Wilson. Holy hell, man. And things just continue to get worse for McIntyre. As we know, earlier in the night, at the start of the video, I told you guys that Cody Rhodes came out as McIntyre was making his entrance and just kicked his ass. McIntyre would get escorted. Well, it happened again. McIntyre would try for round 2. He would try to come out and talk. He actually gets in the ring ring this time. I believe he actually did get a mic, but as soon as they hand him the mic, guess who comes out this time? First it was Cody. Guess what? Now it's Jacob Fatu, who Drew McIntyre has also screwed over the past few weeks. It is Jacob Fatu. He starts unloading on McIntyre, does some running corner attacks, just punch, just blaze the beat down into McIntyre. Once again, obviously going to have to get broken up. McIntyre eventually does get his way out of there. He makes it out of there. But man, it has been a bad freaking night for McIntyre, man. So one thing I want to say, what I really think this is setting up, man, I feel like at Elimination Chamber, it's either going to be Cody or Fatu that win it. And then I feel like somehow, some way, it's going to merge into a triple threat. So let's say Cody wins Chamber. It's going to somehow merge into a triple threat with Cody versus Drew, because that's obviously going to happen. And I mean, that's if Cody obviously wins the Chamber. And then somehow Fatu's going to wiggle his way in there, and it's going to be a triple threat at Mania. Or it's going to be Fatu wins the Chamber, then Cody Rhodes wiggles his way in there, and then we get a triple threat for the title at Mania. So I think that's what this is setting up, man. I mean, obviously, it's going to be one or the other. It's either going to be one or the other, or it's going to be both. It's either going to be Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu, or it's going to be both, man. I'm really hyped for it, man. I think if it is going to be both of them and it's going to be a triple threat for the title at Mania, that is going to be absolutely insane. That would be a great freaking match. I mean, that would be such a killer main event at WrestleMania. So I think if that's the case, man, that is going to be really freaking awesome, man. That would be really cool to see. But yeah, one thing to note, man, that's kind of just a prediction. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. But man, one thing is for damn sure, like I said, McIntyre is having a freaking shitty night tonight, man. Do we feel bad though? I don't know. I think McIntyre, at the end of the day, I think he deserves it, man. I think McIntyre absolutely deserves what he has been getting tonight. He's Jacob Fatu and Cody, man, they are pissed off, and I'm freaking loving it, man. Keep beating up McIntyre. Continue to give him a shit night, man. It just keeps getting even funnier every time. We'll see what happens with McIntyre throughout the night. I wonder if he's going to get his ass kicked again. I don't know. We'll see. But overall, it's definitely been a really shitty night for McIntyre. All right, and for the next match of the night, it would be Shinsuke Nakamura going one-on-one with Tama Tonga. Gotta be honest, I didn't really care for this match. I just think, I don't know, man. There's just something about it. It was just like nothing that I really cared for. It just wasn't intriguing. I just really didn't care for it overall as a whole. So let's try to sum this one up pretty quickly, man. I mean, we're just really gonna cut straight to the end, man. I mean, obviously the MFT are ringside with Tama Tonga. Obviously they would, interfere in this one. So they would actually, I believe it was JC Mateo, I believe, is who would trip Shinsuke, and then that would allow Tama Tonga to kind of deliver some little cutthroat attack, and then 1, 2, 3, match is over, man. It was just like a little, it was a very underwhelming ending. I will say that as well. But overall, I just think the match just wasn't really appealing. It's just really nothing I care for. There's just a lot more to look forward to than there is this, And either way, you got to think in this mindset, I feel like, as well. The Wyatt Six, I mean, the MFT are focused on the Wyatt Six. They're like, obviously, there's just no way the Shinsuke Nakamura thing obviously turns into anything bigger than just probably a match or two, So that's why it's like, I'm not really gonna focus on this. And it just really wasn't that appealing, There's a lot more to look forward to for the MFT and just, in wrestling in general than there is this match. I just feel like, so I think this is just kind of one of those matches for me personally, or just like, I really don't care. This is kind of like a match where I'm just kind of, just doom scrolling on my phone. You're just waiting for the next segment. That's what I feel like this match was for me personally. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this one, but I just thought, really wasn't anything crazy. I really didn't care for it personally. And now we would jump into the women's 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner, which is obviously Liv Morgan. So she comes out with obviously her tag team partner, one of her Judgment Day partners, Raquel Rodriguez, and then obviously Nick Aldis is also out there. So the big question that Liv brings up is obviously, number one, she obviously addresses that, she is the greatest Women's Royal Rumble winner of all time, but then she obviously brings up WrestleMania. She says that she has a big decision to make with not a lot of time, and she says that, it is a big freaking, it's a big choice. It's either I face Stephanie Vaquer or I face obviously not Raquel Rodriguez, freaking Jade Cargill. But then she says that she wants to address, but first she wants to address the elephant in the room, and then she would look over at Raquel, and then Raquel would take her glasses off and take the mic and say, "No, I would like to address the elephant in the room." Then she would say, well, she would literally say two words, and she wouldn't even get the second one fully out. But then she says, "Well, last week," she says last we, and then she's about to say last week, which what happened last week was on Raw, Liv Morgan would cost her in her match against Stephanie Vaquero to win for the WWE Women's World Championship. So Raquel was trying to bring that up, but then she would get cut off because then Jade Cargill's music would play. So she comes out, and then Jade Cargill would tell Liv that, I don't care who you pick, but if you pick me, I'm gonna beat your ass at WrestleMania. And then she would look over at Raquel and say, "What the hell are you looking at?" And then from there, Liv Morgan would say, if I were you, I would watch what you say. Then from there, we would even see Jordynne Grace come out, which was a bit interesting at first. So she would come out and say, "Liv, you come out here and talk, but I would watch, I would also watch what you say, because if I can get the champ here to defend her title, you might be facing me at WrestleMania." So the stakes are pretty high there, man. Jordynne Grace asserting her dominance, saying that if, Jade defends against her, she will win the title and she will face Liv at WrestleMania, if that's who, Liv obviously chooses. But then from there, Liv Morgan would be like, pretty much, just being sarcastic. She'd be like, "Ha ha, yeah, sure, sure, Jordy, sure, Jordan." And then from there, Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace would both tell Liv Morgan to shut up, bitch. And then from there, things would get heated. And then obviously from there, Nick Aldis would say that, "Liv, I told you last week, I made it clear last week that if you are clear to talk, you are clear to fight here on my show." So now it is going to be Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in a tag match, but versus Jordynne Grace and Jade Cargill. So that is the match we're going to be talking about next. So what do you got to know here, man? Well, things are heating up as far as Liv Morgan's choice for who she's going to pick for WrestleMania. We still don't know who she's going to pick. And then also, that judgment, like I said, that Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez, was going to bring up what happened last week on Monday Night Raw with her and Liv costing her, but obviously that got cut off. So, bit interesting stuff here, man. But now let's jump into that match. All right, so as mentioned, we would jump into Jordynne Grace and Jade Cargill tag teaming up against the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This match would be over pretty quick, so there's not too much to rate here, so we're just going to really get into this thing, really speed through it here. So jump into this match, man. Really, like I said, match does not really go on for too long. Really, the craziest sort of thing that happened in this match was Raquel Rodriguez would accidentally deliver a big boot to Liv Morgan, such as obviously her partner, because I believe it was Jade Cargill who moved out of the way, which, that's where Raquel delivered the big boot to Liv. And if you look on, Raquel's face after she did that, she was kind of like shocked, but really not super shocked. Like, it was kind of like, at the same time, it really felt like she was like, yeah, take that. Because obviously, Liv Morgan has screwed her at the Rumble and screwed her last week as well. She messed her up with her match with Stephanie and messed her up at the Rumble by eliminating her own partner, which is obviously being Raquel Rodriguez. So, at the same, there's really a lot of questions to be asked about that. Is Raquel really like, she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to do that," or she like, yeah, that's payback, motherfucker. Obviously, just without her, verbally saying that, of course. But by looking at her facial expression, she doesn't look as shocked as she maybe should be. I'm just saying that. You guys let me know though. But I think that was a bit interesting. But like I said, that would pretty much happen, and then we would all. But then at the end of the match, we would just see a quick roll up from Jordynne Grace to Raquel Rodriguez. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. So Raquel and Liv Morgan do lose this one, while Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace do win this one. As far as development, as far as what this match really solidifies, I really don't think it really means too much. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think this match means too much, except it does develop more into that, like I said, that Judgment Day split. Because obviously, if you guys don't know, there's 100% a Judgment Day split bound to happen throughout the road to WrestleMania. In fact, I did a whole separate video on that. It is up on the channel now, where I talk about pretty much the start of the decline of the fall of the Judgment Day as a whole group in WWE. release. If you want to go ahead and watch that video, that is on the channel now. In fact, it literally just came out 2 days ago at the time that I'm recording this video, of course, because this is coming out on a Friday. Well, for most of you, it should be. But yeah, you know, so that's really like the main development that happened in this match, but that's really about it, like I said, man. So definitely does spice things up between not only Raquel and Liv, but just the whole Judgment Day as a whole, as mentioned. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all the really important stuff in this match here. Alright, and after trying all freaking night, Drew McIntyre would finally be able to get his words out. He would hop on the announcer's table and he would get to work, man. So he would start it off talking about the men who attacked him earlier tonight, Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, saying that it's very cowardly of them to attack him, to pretty much sneak attack him, but even though he literally did the same thing to them. So, you know, pretty much just playing into that heel of McIntyre. And then also pretty much he would just say that they should be disqualified for what they did to him from the Elimination Chamber. So pretty much saying that they should not be in the Elimination Chamber as well. But that's, you know, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much just going to be an overall screw job. And then he does get into what happened this past Monday, where with the whole segment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So he says that, you know, he heard what they had to say. In fact, and then he says that, you know, I don't really care that you guys were talking about me. I mean, talk about me all day long. But what I do care about is that people like CM Punk call this the B tier title, basically, you know, because he remarks about, he brings up how CM Punk pretty much called the title that McIntyre is currently holding, the undisputed title, pretty much the second tier, pretty much. You know, it's not the top tier title, even though it's the undisputed title. So, you know, McIntyre gonna back that up. He says this title was held by the likes of people like Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, the Dusty Rhodes, and even more than that, like Bruno Sammartino and all of them. This title was held by guys like that, and you're gonna have the audacity to call this the B tier title. And then he would talk about Roman Reigns, pretty much just saying that, you know, Roman, I understand why you pick CM Punk, the sociopath, the tatted sociopath. Well, you picked him because he's Fragile Phil, while I'm over here 280-pound Scottish warrior. And then pretty much throwing it in Roman's face, saying that you were too scared to face me, that you had to go after Fragile Phil and take the easy way out. And yes, he quite literally did call CM Punk Fragile Phil. So that, I feel like that is probably going to be a new meme. Maybe not, I don't know, but I feel like Fragile Phil is probably going to be a new meme in the wrestling community for the next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised, at least if it is. You know, it's kind of funny, not gonna lie. Fragile Phil, pretty funny. No hate towards CM Punk, I just think it's kind of funny. So that was pretty, you know, funny from what McIntyre said about Punk. But yeah, I mean, and then from there, Drew McIntyre, he would pretty much hop off the table. He would walk up towards the entrance area, and then we would have Trick Williams come out, and then he would say that pretty much that she's just telling Drew McIntyre that you got your eyes on the wrong thing. You got your eyes on guys like Cody and Cody and Fatu and CM Punk and Roman. You should be having your eyes on the future, guys like me, Trick Williams. Let's talk about it. And then Drew McIntyre would pretty much tell Drew McIntyre would tell Trick that, you know, I told you to step up, you stepped up, but remember, you better walk before you run, because if you don't, I will take those lemon pepper steppers and I will shove them up where the sun don't shine. And then obviously Trick Williams would take off his glasses. He would get pissed, and then, but you know, you could see that, you know, pissed off look on his face. But then Drew McIntyre would laugh and walk back to the backstage, and then that was pretty much it there. So I think, I mean, number one, finally Drew McIntyre gets his words off his chest. Pretty interesting stuff, like I said, pretty funny stuff, pretty good stuff as well. Really good promo for McIntyre, and obviously the little back and forth there with Trick Williams was also really good, but also really funny. The Fragile Phil incident, so that was pretty cool. What he said about, you know, CM Punk with the whole Fragile Phil, that is obviously really funny in my opinion. But yeah, I think really good promo from McIntyre, man. I really enjoy this promo. Like I said, finally he gets his words off his chest. I'm still really hyped for the road to WrestleMania as far as Drew McIntyre goes, because obviously we know what CM Punk and Roman have in store, but we still don't know for sure what is, you know, going on with Drew McIntyre, because we still have to wait till Elimination Chamber and, you know, all that. So everything looking pretty freaking interesting, man. It's all gonna fall into place at some point, of course, but as far as this promo goes, really freaking good stuff here. I really enjoyed this. All right, man, and we would finally make it to our main event of the night, and what an absolute freaking banger. So it was a men's Elimination Chamber triple threat qualifying match, and it did take place between Mr. Randall Keith Orton, Randy freaking Orton, man, versus Solo Sikoa versus Aleister Black, and what was a great freaking phenomenal match, man. All these men did absolutely great in this match, man. Great chemistry, great stuff all the way around in this freaking match, but man, inevitably it would have to come down with one freaking man as your winner, man. So the ending would get pretty freaking hectic, man. We would see, I believe it was an RKO delivered to Aleister Black that would send him out of the ring. Then Randy Orton would be he would be on one knee near the ropes, and then he would get back on 2 feet, and behind him was Solo Sikoa lining him up for a Samoan spike. And then Randy Orton, he doesn't turn around, but all he does is back up. He senses that Solo was there, and then out of nowhere, just freaking clocks Solo, RKO, drags him down to the mat. Then he's going to get that cover. He's going to get that 1. He's going to get that 2, and Randy is going to get that 3, man. Randy Orton going on to the men's Elimination Chamber. Honestly, I kind of already figured this one. I just did not see Solo winning this one, or I didn't see Solo winning this one because he's doing all the stuff with the Wyatt 6, and then Aleister Black, I just don't think he really needs to be in the, I mean, it'd be fine for him in the Elimination Chamber, but seeing as Randy's also in the match, it just makes sense, Randy, you know, for Randy to win this one. So kind of already obvious that Randy's going to win this one. I really did feel like, but you know, either way, it's good. You know, I think it's good that Randy is going into the Elimination Chamber. It'll be really interesting. He definitely has a really high chance of winning it. So we'll see what happens with, if he, you know, we'll see what happens. Obviously at Elimination Chamber though, we still have five other, you know, entrances in the Elimination Chamber though, of course, because there is 6 people total. Randy Orton though has qualified for the first spot, so that's pretty cool, man. Overall though, really good main event, man. Really glad that Randy, like I said, is going on to the Elimination Chamber, so that's a good way to end off the night. So yeah, solid match, man. Great stuff, and like I said, great way to end off the night with Randy freaking Orton delivering some RKOs and getting that 1, 2, 3 and going on to the Elimination Chamber. All right, everybody. Well, that is going to wrap up today's Ringside Roundup. As always, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, because we do wrestling content every Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, and then every day out of the weekend we do wrestling content. So if you like wrestling content, be sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on post notifications, man. And just ranking this episode of SmackDown, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10, man. I think this was a really solid episode of SmackDown. You know, maybe there wasn't much as far as storylines go, even though there was a good amount of storyline progression, but you know, maybe there could have been more. But either way, the matches on this show were really solid for the most part. So that is really what mainly drives me to give this show an 8 out of 10. So let me know what your guys' rating is down in the comments below. And as always, go down in the comments, leave your thoughts. All that helps me out a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.